Hi everyone, this is Elgin Subwaysurfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, and in this segment we are continuing on in our series of making comics the easy way. Part 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. In other lessons we covered personal experiences, going into the past and things like that. I'm going to share with you another method that I use for making comics, and it's basically being a busybody, being nosy. You know, sometimes people ask me, or rather they tell me, why don't you mind your own business? And I say, well, because it's more interesting minding yours. If we really are inquisitive, this is a Sharpie, great for drawing comics, by the way. Sharpie, it's the king. Sharpie is the king. This is old reliable. Anyway, you have to become inquisitive. By nature, most artists are introspective. They keep to themselves. It's just them and their work, and they stay inside, and they internalize things a lot. And while it's good to do that, and while you can get a lot of comic book stuff out of that, like I said, it'll come to a point, even with the wealth of memories that you have, that it gets a little redundant. You know what I'm talking about if you've read a lot of autobiographical comics by any of your authors, even a author like you that you like R. Crumb or somebody like that. R. Crumb being one of my favorites, but after a while you just say, I'm just tired of all this introspection. My goodness gracious. Okay, we know about the story of your life. You got anything else to say? Well, if you become inquisitive and open with everything that you see, you're going to see that there are a lot of little interesting stories right out there, right outside your own door there. A lot of stories. And what I suggest that you do is carry a little tape recorder around with you, or, to make it easier, just carry a notebook around with you and keep your eyes open. And you'll be surprised of what you'll see and what kind of connections you'll make. Here's a story, that I saw. Just one of many. Maybe I'll tell you another. Maybe I'll tell you two if I have time. Okay. I'm in the train station, and I look down at the platform, and I see a silver piece of paper, and I'm wondering what that is. And then I'm seeing that, it's a Pop-Tart. Apparently somebody was eating a Pop-Tart for breakfast, and they dropped this little piece of paper. They dropped the Pop-Tart, but it was still in the little piece of aluminum, foil wrapping or whatever it is, and it was lying there on the platform. And I saw all of these pigeons, about 10 pigeons, each one competing for that half a Pop-Tart. The bigger pigeons, of course, were fighting for it. They peck it and get a piece and then run away. And one particular pigeon was chasing all the other pigeons. And then you had these little tiny pigeons on the outside trying to run in and getting chased away and everything. And it became this comical scene of who's going to dominate the Pop-Tart. Then, all of a sudden, this big, gigantic seagull is on the other platform across, watching this whole crazy scene with all these pigeons. Now, if you've ever seen a seagull up close, seagulls are huge. Okay? I mean, their wingspan, when they open up, seems to go out forever. And so, the seagull is watching this scene, and he finally gets tired of it. Okay? And I guess he gets pretty hungry, also. And he comes across to the platform where the pigeons are, and all of a sudden, nobody's fighting anymore. Everybody backs up. And this seagull kind of walks up to the Pop-Tart package and flips it in his mouth. I mean, he literally takes it in his mouth, and he flips it, swallows it, and walks off with the whole thing. While everybody is, while all the other pigeons are there just kind of watching in bewilderment. And I guess if a pigeon could get angry, these pigeons were pissed. So I'm watching this whole scene, and it's comical, and it was so allegorical about, a situation, with people, and I was looking around, for somebody to see if somebody else saw this, and everybody's going about their business, and then this woman comes up to me, and she says, "Did you just see that thing?" And I said, "Yeah." We began talking about it. I said there was enough for everybody, but because they couldn't share, because they couldn't work out a system of agreement where they all could be fed and fed very easily, something bigger and badder came along and took it from all of them. I mean, it was a great little moral lesson right there on that subway platform for everybody to see, but apparently only two people saw it and recognized what was going on, me and this other woman. Now, what does that have to do with comics? Well, it's a great story for a comic. It's a story right there. It's a story that I didn't write. It's a story that I didn't rack my brain to think of. The characters and the allegory and the life lesson was right there. All I had to do, if I wanted, and I didn't, but all I had to do is just go home and illustrate it. In fact, it could have been a wordless comic. I wouldn't have had to write any words, and the lesson would still be impactful. That's a perfect example of being observant and finding a story that's outside my door, that I didn't even have to work for. And that's what I encourage you to do. Yes, write your autobiographical comics by all means. Go deep inside of yourself and pull out all of that great personal stuff that I talked about, before. But don't be afraid to go in the outside world and just look. Keep your eyes and your ears open and just observe. I can guarantee you, if you go out there with an open mind, you're going to find more stories than you know what to do with. And you'll never be the type of person who says, "I just can't find an idea. I wish I had an idea." I'm going to come at you again, with another segment, but chew on this. This is Elgin Subwaysurfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant on making comics the easy way.